You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Operation Help the People presents their trading seminar happening right here at the University of the West Indies. Don't worry, Business Access TV has all your highlights. I'm Candy, stay tuned. Nathan DeLisa, President of Operation Help the People, joins me now. Nathan, talk to us about the movement and what it's about.
Okay, thank you. So Operation Help the People is a youth-run, youth-led nonprofit organization whose focus is to make youths more socially conscious through our community service projects and initiatives. Our aim is to have social impact on the lesser fortunate through our projects, whether that be renovating schools, whether it be hosting financial seminars, trading seminars, to better and enable youth to attack the financial markets and to, earn revenue. Because, the job market is getting more difficult out there, and in order to succeed, in order to make a successful living, these tips, these tricks will enable them to better themselves. Our focus also is to have a culture of giving back to the society. So, some of us are more fortunate than others and have been in more difficult situations. And to have the country have a culture of giving back, it help to shift the dynamic and have a paradigm shift in the vast difference between the wealthy and the poor, the poverty-stricken. So all of our efforts are geared towards alleviating poverty and giving young persons the skills to better themselves.
Okay, and how long has the organization been around?
Okay, so our very first project was done in July 2014. And since then we've done about 15 projects. This year we actually officially registered and got our charter status. So officially this is our first official year, but we started projects from July 2014.
And talk to us about some of the other projects that you guys have worked on. Okay,
so our very first project was feeding, where we fed approximately 800 persons in 3 communities, namely Trenchtown, Crossroads, Downtown, all at the same time. And it was initially a one-hour project called Operation Feed the People. And we got good feedback. We said, lots of good reports, and the momentum that we had. We said, here, let's take it into our organization. Let's build it. Let's develop it. Let's make a sustainable impact. Let's make a change. So therein lies, we've done feedings. We've helped renovate schools. As in, the proceeds from this conference goes to renovating Operation Restoration Christian School.
It makes sense to invest in a company that you can understand. And when we talk about long-term economics, if you're running a business, the long-term economics, whatever good or service you're selling, and whether or not that's sustainable for 10, 20, 30 years, is probably the most important thing that you want to think about. But when I'm thinking about these factors, I make the analogy of the human body. So you have what are called the vital organs, and these are kind of the vital factors that I think about. So you think about the human body, you have a brain, you have a heart, you have a liver, right? Now, the truth is, we'd probably all agree that the brain is the most important of those 3 vital organs, more important than the heart, which is in turn more important than the liver. But I use that analogy because nobody wants to walk around with a busted liver, right? So these 3 elements that I'm looking at in picking companies and stock investing, it's kind of like that for me. If you're running a business, the long-term economics is probably the most important thing for you. If you are investing in a business, probably, especially a stock, the most important thing is the price that you pay, right? So for me, the way I think about it, it's price, long-term economics, then management. But again, even though it's in that order, it's much like vital organs, brain, heart, liver. You don't want something to go wrong with either of them, right? But if you were to choose that order, the price, long-term economics, and the management, right, is what we'd be looking for. So, having done that, I come now and try to dig into really the price and what my approach is characterized as largely is fundamental analysis. So what we're trying to do is understand the character, the intrinsic nature of the company that we're investing in, right? So Coca-Cola is a food company, right? It sells mostly soda, sells chips, sells water as well. So that is kind of the very nature of the company. So we want to understand what the company is trading in, and we want to value that company. And we have a series of ratios and metrics that we use. One of them, I like to start with what I call the defensives. So I tend to look first at the debt ratios of the company. How much money the company has borrowed relative to how much the company is worth in liquidation value. If you sell all the assets and pay back the debts, right? I tend to look at that. We talk about price to earnings ratios. We talk about price to book ratio. We talk about free cash flow. Akil, your keynote speaker, will probably get into those. But what I'm trying to understand in the price is what is the story that this price is really telling me. Price to earnings, for example, is how much money I'm paying for every unit of earnings. So if you have a price to earnings like Google, it's probably in the region of $20+ now. When you buy a stock of Google, you're paying $20 for every dollar the company earns, right? And you want to try and figure out if it's worth that much. You know, you in the analysis and in deciding if the price, which remember we said is the most important thing, you want to try and figure out if the company is indeed worth that PE ratio.
So first of all, if you're going to look at any asset class, whether it's stocks, whether it's bonds, any graph that you can look at, you can analyze the market either fundamentally or technically. So we're going to talk a bit about what the fundamental aspects are. It applies to these asset classes as I was talking about, options, foreign exchange, real estate. Basically, fundamental analysis focus on market data points, and what they can be is either business specific or they can drive the larger economy. I'll talk about some of the business specific metrics that drive companies, etc., etc. But you also have what is called macroeconomic data. Now, if you're going to trade any asset class, it is very important that you stay in touch with the economy. You actually need to understand what data points drive the economy to a large extent. If you're talking about business-specific data, take, for example, the business of banking. If for some reason you want to access a bank or you want to access the banking industry, what you try to look for is the net interest margin. You guys know already that banks take your money and then they lend it out in order to get a profit. So what they do is they tell you, come give me your money and we give you a 1% interest rate. And then you go back to the same bank or another customer and say, I want to buy a house. And it's okay, I'm going to charge you 6% on that loan. So right there, the bank makes a net interest margin of 5%. And that is one of the business metric data that is specific to banking. Another one is airlines. We're going to just touch on that quickly. When you're analyzing the airline industry, which is very hard to play because not only the business metric is how much revenue per seat an airline is making. For example, you may look at Caribbean Airlines, right? You may look at a Caribbean Airlines or you may look at a Delta and you're trying to calculate how much revenue per seat they are generating. That is going to give you an idea as to the potential for that type of business. But why airlines are very hard to play is because oil prices affect them significantly. An increase or decrease in oil price can wipe out the profits of an airline industry, because so you notice ticket prices don't move in tandem with prices of oil, so they have to do all sorts of things to try and ensure that they make a profit. So what I'm doing is basically exposing you to think about the type of business that you want to invest in, and try to find out what that key business metric is in order to make an assessment whether that stock or that industry is good for you. Okay, so I pretty much started out with foreign exchange currency a couple years ago when it was a big deal. Everybody was getting into the market, and while trading Forex, I realized that I couldn't get a good handle on the market until I understood what was driving stocks, because I realized that the stock market fed into the Forex market. And then from there, it snowballed into signing up with brokers overseas, trying to day trade. And it led me to be day trading futures currently. The internet is a big place. Go out and see if this is exactly what you want to do, because it's heavily based in psychology. And if you're not mentally prepared to take losses, then it can't be the business for you, because your only inventory is the capital. So I would say to them, read widely and take advice from persons who have their money at risk, so that they are guided accordingly with the right experience.
Financial literacy is very important to the organization. So although we are considered an established and old institution, we are pretty new at what we do all the time. We are what we call an innovative company. A little bit too conservative, because we don't shout about most of the things that we do. But behind the scenes, we have helped our members, locally and overseas, in the diaspora, about some of the things that we can do for you in the banking sector. So, as one of the leaders in the financial services sector, we pride ourselves with doing things a little differently. So one of the things that we've done as regards financial literacy is to introduce on a strategic level what is known as our UWI, Wise Aspiring Youth program. What I'm going to be doing though is to show you how, on a broader scale, how you can manage your money, because trading is about getting money, right? That's why people trade, right? Of course. But we at Jamaica National are going to show you how you too can make and retain your savings in a different way. So the method that I've chosen is to take you to our social media pages as well as our website. It's as simple as that. You need to be able to connect with us whenever you wish. And I'm also going to be talking to you about some of the innovative things that we've done, the latest of which is introduced for the first time in Jamaica, our cardless cash deposit ATMs. Have you heard about that? Yeah. If you missed your ATM card at home, for whatever reason, you still can make your deposit to your account. And it's instant access, instant update. So these are some of the simple things that we've not been talking to people about. These things literally save you money and save you time. So you may be trading and you're losing money somewhere, but we can give you back cash by assisting you with the convenience of alternative banking, or what we call e-banking techniques at Jamaica National. All right? So, you will have seen on screen our official web site, our official website, jmbs.com. This is where you can keep in touch with us. You can get a lot of information from what was our award-winning website. Talking about foreign currency trading, the exchange rates are there. You want to know about what's happening in the market, we also carry those news right here. So you'll be able to keep in touch with it. I did mention that we are a Jamaican company with international reach. So we have representative offices in North America, Canada, United States of America, and of course the financial hub, the Cayman Islands. In fact, we have the only building society in that island, JN Cayman. We also have our reach in the UK, So we have quite a number of offices in the United Kingdom. We also have, through our remittance side, further internationally. So we have in Africa, our remittance services span there. We have in South America, we have in Asia. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's what this brand has done. We penetrated the international market, and we're doing quite well in that regard.
All right, so in my presentation, I'm going to really talk about trader psychology. Now, this has been the difference maker for me in my trading, and this is the aspect of trading where I'm now able to support myself full-time on. Before, I used to just throw myself in the market, throw myself in there, and I used to just get thrown around, and I almost lost all my money. Trading is 80% mental and 20% skill. A lot of people, they do so well when they go into demo accounts. And you'll see them, oh, I made this amount of money and all that kind of stuff. But then the minute that they put real money on the line and real risk is at play, the performance is completely different. So this sport, trading, has actually made me a better decision maker entirely and a better entrepreneur because I've been able to handle the pressures now and handle the fire and still come out victorious when you follow through with your plan. There's 4 aspects to a trader. You have to have overall market awareness, the technical skills, some of the things that we talked about earlier today, but you also need to have psychological control and risk management. If you are missing these things, you can't necessarily be successful because you're going to be out of balance. So I'm a technician by definition. So I'm focused on the charts. I don't really watch the news that much, but I still have a passing understanding of what's going on. So I want to it really hasn't always been this way, and I have failed a lot. So this picture right here, my trading journey is like this. Many roads, straying off the path, but now we're on the highway to success, and all of you guys will be too. So I first got introduced to stocks and trading and all that good stuff in my freshman year at Howard University when I started to become financially literate. And as I mentioned earlier today, as I studied wealthy people and people who already had it like that, I realized that every single solitary one of them put their money to work. Trading for me is a means for me to acquire real estate. Real estate is the main thing that I'm after. This is just a means to get my cash flow up, flip the dollar, and then I put it in real estate, and then I get that passive revenue. So I realized that I need to now put my money to work. And I ended up watching Wolf of Wall Street, looking at all these people successful on YouTube, trader buying their new Lamborghini. I was so excited and just saw everything that was going on, and I said, this gotta be me. And I was lucky. I ended up finding a trade, a stock, GoPro was the name of it. And it was trading undervalued. And I had some friends that were in investment banking. And I said, yo, what do you think about this stock? And he said, you know what? Buy this stock, anything under $10. Got a job. Multiple jobs. Just take all my money, buy, anything under $10. The stock kept going down in price, kept buying. I was excited too. I was just like, yeah, it's going down. I'm buying it at a discount, right? And to make a long story short, the stock ended up doing everything that my plan said and ended up making 28% of my net worth in 2 weeks. And I realized to myself, why the am I working, coming home at 1 o'clock in the morning, putting myself through this hell of cleaning toilets and all this other stuff when if I master this one skill, it handles all my needs, right? So after that, I'm just like, all right, cool, the next trade now, I'm excited. And I ended up finding oil stock, right? You don't need to look at everything, but I had passive understanding of oil and how it moves. So we talked about the 4 aspects of a trader. Market awareness, technical skills, psychological control, and risk management, right? So my market awareness made me understand, okay, winter is coming. What happens in winter? It's cold, right? Everybody on the East Coast is trying to warm their house with natural gas, right? In the summer, when we move from winter now to summer, now people are using gasoline more because they want to go on their long drives with their family. And what we find is in between spring and fall, we have the discount period, right? The discount period is when these stocks tend to be trading at their lowest. Scoop them at the discount. So I said, all right, I don't even got bread like that. So I need to find these cheaper stocks because BP moves too slow and all that good stuff. Found a nice penny stock at the time, CRC, California Resource Corporation. And I realized it was just bouncing in this trend. So we talked about the 3 types of the trend, right? You have the uptrend, the downtrend, and consolidation, that middle period where prices are just bouncing. And I said, all right, then, I found this. I would buy at support like we talked earlier today and sell at resistance. And I would just wake up out of my bed, place my little trade, and by the time I went from my bed to my door, I've already made hundreds of dollars for the day. And this trend and this pattern was running and doing this continuously. So I would go on the bus to school, place my little trade. By the time I stepped off the bus for school, I made a whole day's work.
How do we market the seminar and the organization? Well, we treat it as a social enterprise. We are an NGO, we are registered. We have 501(c)(3) tax exemption status. So really and truly, I'm a marketer by trade, by profession, that's my degree. So we seek sponsorship, we do fundraisers. Most of the projects up until now have been from pocket, from our volunteers, from fundraising activities. We've never had sponsorship till now. So I think we've grown since 2014 to now. So going into 2017, what we plan to do is to seek more sponsorship, get more corporate affiliations, and really try to better Jamaica as much as we can. Because not only do we do trading seminars for youth or to anyone in general, our main aim is really to make Jamaica a better place and give back. So those are the plans we have for 2017 and beyond. We want to grow as an organization and be one of the top non-profit organizations in Jamaica and the world.
Through our UWI, Wise Aspiring Youth program at Jamaica National, we have sponsored this financial literacy program here at the University of the West Indies for the young people, simply because, as the name suggests, UWI, we are investing in the youth. Financial literacy is important, and we believe more knowledge creates wealth. And if you have the right knowledge, it makes you make the appropriate decisions in life. This seminar today has been great. It's really opening the eyes of so many of the young people here. The questions that have been coming out here today have been from the audience, the attendees. You know, they show you that people have actually been doing their research, they're hungry for information and the right information, and that they're really ready to learn on how to enhance their lifestyle. A number of these attendees are pretty much university students. This is the area and atmosphere for learning. So this training session is important and very critical at this point in time for persons to actually make the right decisions in their lives, and we've been seeing that.
And that's it from us here at the University of the West Indies, where Operation Help the People presented their trading seminar. Until next time, I'm Candy, signing out for Business Access TV.